All right, let's talk about how we're going to add graphics to our writing and into our passion project. There's a couple things that I want you to remember. The requirements for graphics is that you need 2 images or graphics of some sort, which could include an illustrated drawing. It could include an actual picture. It could include statistics and graphs that support your writing, as well as a few other options as long as you want to run it by your teacher. Each of those graphics needs a caption included that adds purpose and meaning to your writing. I want you to make sure that you are adding this graphic in an appropriate place in your writing and you're not just throwing it in at the beginning or the end and it doesn't make a connection to the writing that you're attaching it to. So be purposeful in the placement of your picture or your graph. At the same time, make sure that you're adding on as a reader to something that you're including in your paper. This isn't just something that's fluff. This is something that's really adding extra meaning to your writing. That includes your graphics, caption, making sure that whatever you're writing with it is also intriguing and adding to your piece. So there's a few ways that we're going to work through this, and it's pretty simple and self-explanatory. The only thing that you might run into trouble with is positioning your picture and your captions in the most appropriate places and ways. And some of you might have some struggles with it. And so, of course, we will not count off points if you find that there's a big space in the area that you added your picture. We'll know that you tried and you worked hard and did your best. So this is an article I started writing about becoming an author, which I think would be a really cool passion of mine. In the very beginning, I added a nice introduction and I started my first paragraph about how you create a world in which is just totally made up by you. And so I think this is a good place to add a picture. For those of you who are working on your own writing, I would suggest writing the entire essay first and then coming back and adding captions might be a bit of a better way to do this. And so it's really simple, and I want to show you how to do it. The first thing that you're going to do is make sure that your cursor is wherever you want this photo. And we're going to go up here to the toolbar and click Tools. And from there, we're going to come down to the word Explore and click on that. Once we've clicked Explore, a dialog box pops up into the right-hand corner. And this basically works like a Google search engine. And so in my case, I want to start out by typing in the word imagination because I think that might give me the type of picture that I'm looking for. If it doesn't, and I've scrolled through everything and I'm not finding what I like, I'll come back in and give a different word or a phrase that will help me. So once I hit enter after I hit imagination, I'm going to get a series of websites that I could use. This is obviously more helpful in your gathering of research stage of writing. Of course, if you are needing some quotes or you need some more information, you can utilize this at this point. But what I really want you to search for is images. Once you click on images, there's a whole bunch of photos in here that deal with imagination. Some work, some don't. I first started out by looking at these two, which are pretty cute little pictures, but in reality, it's just two girls imagining things, and that's not exactly what I'm writing about. I'm talking about books and being an author, so I really want to find something a little bit more meaningful. So as I scroll through all these photos, this particular picture really caught my attention because it looks like there's a book opening and this whole world sort of flowing out of it, which is a great photo. So I'm going to come in here and you'll notice that wherever I take my picture, this blue cursor follows me. And so you want to put it exactly where you want your photo to go. So I want my photo to come right after this last line, and I'm going to go ahead and just release it. It's going to go where it goes. And of course, I'm going to want to make it a little bit smaller. I don't need it that big. And I'm going to kind of bring it down to size. Ignore that second box that comes up. I'm going to show you what to do with that here in a second. And I'm going to kind of size it so that it works perfect for my writing. I'm going to make it so that it's not so small, nobody can see it, but it's not so big that it takes up a whole entire piece. All right, now to caption it is a little bit trickier, and I have found the best way to do that is to start by clicking on your photo and making it go over here to wrap your text. So wrap your text right here versus in line. The wrapping of the text will make sure that my lines can go anywhere in here. So you'll notice here I've clicked on the picture and my line can go anywhere that I want it to go. So to add my caption, I'm going to come up here to insert. I'm going to insert a table of a 1-by-1. So I just have basically one box that's going to pop up. All right. Now you'll notice that my box goes kind of here underneath my picture, and I'm going to try to grab it, which I can, and pull the line over. I'm also going to bring it up a little bit so that it's not such a big space in between my writing. And I'm going to add a caption. Now, if this were a picture of someone that I was writing about, maybe I would give all the information about them so that the reader knows who they are. If it was a graph or a statistic, I would then, of course, add in information that helps me understand the graph a little bit better. In this case, I gave sort of a thought-provoking image, so I want to talk to the reader themselves, and I want to ask them, what world would, oops, if you were given a chance to be the author? I'm going to be a little bit more specific about it, and I'm going to make it centered. All right. And you can do a couple other things that you want to do to it. You could make it extra small and it would kind of fill the page this way. It's really up to you how you want to sort of manipulate it. In this case, I still have a little bit more writing in this paragraph to do, so this works out really well. And I can go ahead and write my conclusion sentence, blah, 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 right underneath it. And so it kind of just falls into place in my writing and it looks like it makes sense. Now, one other thing that I need you guys to do is when I clicked on that photo, you're going to notice that another picture, another image had come up. And of course, it's not going to come up again. But when I do click on that image, and you kind of see it here, this came from pixfuel.com. This particular website is available for anybody to use their information, but I do want to give credit where credit is due. And so I'm going to actually copy that. There we go, Control C. I'm going to come down here right after my question, and I'm going to add that. Oops, I'm just going to add it in white, huh? I'm going to change that to black. I'm going to add that so that I know that I'm giving credit where credit is due, that I did not find that information on my own. I did not take that picture by myself. And then, of course, I needed some assistance for that. So that gives me the rest of my writing, and I can continue on and add another image wherever I see fit. I hope that helps when you're adding your graphics. If you have a different way of doing it, I'd love if you guys would share so that we could see some other options on how to add graphics and pictures and captions. Hope you guys have a good one, and if you need any help, let us know.